Thank you so much. Let's bring in our CBS News 2020 campaign reporters, LaCrai Mitchell and Nicole Sganga. They have been out talking with voters in South Carolina today. LaCrai joins us from Columbia. She's at a Joe Biden party. Nicole is also in Columbia at an event for Tom Steyer. Welcome to you both. LaCrai, let me start with you. This is a big night for Joe Biden, propelled to victory with strong support from African-American voters. Tell us about how he tried to appeal in this state to voters of color.
I spoke with so many voters today who said Joe Biden is their guy. I'm with Joe. He's been there before. He has experience. He's been in the White House. And even just here tonight at his event, I had someone say, our signs here say Biden for South Carolina, but Biden is for the nation. And I want someone who's going to be for the nation. I've heard words used like sober and not a fire flame used to describe him today. A lot of black voters who went out to the polls here in South Carolina were casting their votes for him because they felt like he was the candidate who they could trust with experience to get the job done and to beat President Donald Trump.
Nicole, Tom Steyer invested heavily in South Carolina with Joe Biden winning. What is the mood there now? What does it say for the future of the Steyer campaign?
Well, that's right, Elaine. Tom Steyer invested over $20 million in television and radio ads in South Carolina. He built an extensive ground game and field operation in the Palmetto State, and he has spent 23 days campaigning in the state since the launch of his campaign. The mood is still optimistic. Senior campaign officials here tell me that they're hoping for a second or third place finish. They see that as a win for Tom Steyer, who is yet to win a primary or caucus so far, and they say that a finish like that could give them a boost going into Super Tuesday. At this point, Steyer planning on competing in Super Tuesday states, catching a flight tonight, Elaine.
Well, both of you have some interesting reporting on Senator Elizabeth Warren. Let's listen to one of her supporters there in Columbia.
She worked with President Obama. She took on Wall Street, and she was successful, and she's a female.
So, Nicole, what are Senator Warren's supporters telling you?
Well, I spoke to one voter today at a poll station in Charleston, South Carolina, and she told me that she supported Elizabeth Warren because she followed her heart. She said she's not sure if Warren will be the eventual nominee, but she felt she was the most intelligent candidate in this crowded field of Democrats, Elaine. And moving forward, Senator Elizabeth Warren looking to win big in Super Tuesday, perhaps win her own state of Massachusetts, which, of course, we know Senator Bernie Sanders held a rally there today and attracted 13,000 people there. So she has some stiff competition between now and Super Tuesday. But her supporters here on the ground that ended up casting a ballot for her tell me that they did that because they love her as a candidate. They love her policy platforms. They love her clear and coherent vision for the country, despite, her inability to win in a caucus or primary thus far.
Well, LaCrai, you also spoke with some Warren supporters. What did they tell you about her electability?
I did, and as a matter of fact, the spot that we played before this was that of Mr. Neesmith. And I met him today at a Columbia precinct, and he told me that even though he doesn't think she's going to win the nomination, and he didn't think that she was going to win in South Carolina, he thought it was important to vote for her. And I asked him, why is it so important to vote for a woman? And he said, because the electorate needs to change. We need to see more women make up this electorate. And he said that he has a strong grandmother, and he cited that as being a reason that he knows the importance of putting a woman in positions of leadership. And so he said that his hope is that by him casting that ballot, other people will see that she does have support here in the state, even if that does not relate or end up being the nomination for her or even a win here. And something else to note, in terms of Senator Warren's ground game here in South Carolina, she made, 14, 15 visits here. And while she didn't have some of the big name endorsements like former Vice President Biden, like that of Majority Whip Jim Clyburn, she did have a ground game that had been here for a very long time. I know she had staffers on the ground here dating back to last March. And even though they stayed around the 40 or so mark with staffers, they were on the ground, they were holding different events, and at the end here, they've been definitely having surrogates like Representative Ayanna Pressley come to town and tell South Carolinians why they need to pay attention to her, because she's the person with the plan.
All right, on to Super Tuesday from here. LaCrai Mitchell and Nicole Sganga, thank you both very much.